smell amazing. So sweet. Oh, that sounds lovely. Hi lovelies, welcome back. So, as some of you may know, if you follow me on Instagram, I recently became a parent. Yes, I did. To Wilson, my little man. So Wilson is a parlour palm and quite problem-free, you know, quite easy to take care of. I mean, he's 3 weeks old now, so I haven't killed him, and that's an achievement. So, as you know, it was Mother's Day. He couldn't go out and buy me a present, as you're probably aware, so I took that responsibility on myself. What did I buy myself? Another plant. We went a bit bigger this time, as you can tell. It's quite a... This is the Trichina marginata. My pronunciations are not probably accurate, but I just loved the colours. God, I mean, she needs to sit in the background, this one. I mean, it's a she. It's definitely a she, but I haven't settled on a name, so if you have any suggestions, I am all ears. But yes. So, what better gift for myself for Mother's Day other than another plant? The collection is ever growing. I only recently sort of got into it, but I can see how people end up with just surrounded and living in a jungle of plants, you know. I love the colours. Stunning. And the stem, trunk, it's a dragon tree. That's its other name. And I just thought, how dramatic is that? I love it so much. Didn't know that until I got home. I have a list on my phone of plants that I would like to get. Some for my bathroom, some for my bedroom. Both of these live in my bathroom because they both like moisture, and they like a bright room but not direct sunlight. So my room's quite dark, so I've got a dormer window, but it's north facing, whereas my bathroom has a Velux window which is south facing, so I get beautiful sunshine in the morning, and it's generally quite bright all day because it's an ensuite. It's got that mottled glass. I don't know what the technical term for that is, sorry. But there's no blind on it, so I really get a lot of brightness in there, so I just thought that would be perfect. But I do want to get some for my bedroom because my bathroom is looking very nice, and bedroom still just needs that bit of life in it. Oh, thank you. Play on words there. But yeah, so just loved this one. It's funny how plants kind of, I was going to say how they talk to you. I don't mean that in the sense that literally, because I think you'd be a bit concerned if your plants are talking back to you. I'm all for talking to your plants, encouraging them to grow. When they talk back, you might need some help. Yeah, I'm not a doctor, but I am aware of. No, when I'm in the garden centre, like I said, I have a list on my phone, and I've got the technical names for them, but also the, I say technical names, you know what I mean, like the Latin names for them, but I've also got their sort of more well-known names and how generally you'd refer to them, I suppose, because they're quite, it's a mouthful and it's a lot to remember, whereas dragon tree, rolls off the tongue, like, come on, and parlour palm. There's no questions, you know, because I can't remember how to pronounce this. I've written it on there, but I can't read my own writing, which is shameful. It's like it's so embarrassing. Camera Dear Elegans. I put it on Instagram, so God, it's really embarrassing that I can't remember how to pronounce it. Sorry. But yeah. So when I was in the store, I knew I wanted one of these, and I was walking around and I could not find one anywhere. And they've got really limited selection. And I was at the point where I was thinking, right, well, I'm just going to go. There's another garden centre around the corner. I thought, right, well, I'll go and look in there. And as I turned around, there was just one lonely little Wilson sitting on the shelf in the pot and everything. How nice is the pot? But yes, I was like, amazing. So I thought, that's the one. But the place I went to the other day, and they've got loads in there. This one went quite far to get this one, whereas this one, I'd seen these online and I did like them. That is in when I've sort of looked up house plants and things. And when I was walking around the shop, I couldn't see anything like this. And like I said, they've got loads and loads. And a lot that I looked at, I just thought, oh, that's really pretty. They're not cheap though, that's the only thing. And I was looking at my list all the time, and there was some that I was coming across, and I'm like, oh, that's that one. And I was thinking, it's not really grabbing me. Like rubber plants, I'd really like to get a rubber plant, because they look really cool, but they're expensive, and also it just didn't look as, it just didn't, didn't grab me. Like when I'd seen, that wind, I'm really sorry, it's very windy outside. When I'd seen them online, I thought, oh, I love that. That looks really cool, like the aesthetic of it, And yet in the shop, it's just, I don't know, maybe it was just slightly different. But this one, it was on my second time around the shop, as you do in a garden centre, and it just saw the pink coming through on the leaves, and it just grabbed me, and I thought, there's one I'd picked up that was reduced because the pot was cracked, and it was similar to this. It was still a Dracaena. Oh, sorry. It was still one of those. It's just a different version. The leaves were broader and just different. And I thought, well, I'll just get that one then. I would have bought that. Anyway, second time around, saw the pink and was just like, oh, wow. Picked it up, and you just kind of fall in love with it. It is just that. That's the one. That's the one. So it's just kind of like, you just get a vibe, and you think, oh yeah, you're the one I want. So trouble is, I've brought it home to put in a particular spot in my bathroom, and it doesn't fit. It's too big. The pot's a bit too wide. It's a difficult one because it's kind of too wide. It does fit, but it's also not tall enough. So it kind of doesn't quite fit on the shelf properly, and it's too broad to put on my shelf because I've got a sloped ceiling. So at the moment it's in a spot that I'm not too keen on it being there, but just play around with it. And I need to get a pot. Plant pots are so expensive, but I want something that's a bit vintage. I don't like all the modern geometric is really in at the moment, and I do like that, but it's not me. They had a really nice pot in the shop, and it wasn't too expensive, but it was too small, by like a centimetre. And then to go up to the next size, it was huge, and I was just like, guess I'll be doing some Googling then. But you go online, they're really expensive, so I don't really know what I'm going to do about that one just yet. I kind of feel a bit like, oh, I'm kind of stuck with this plant that I really, really like, but can't put it where I want to, and yeah. Anyway, so the Mother's Day thing, that was kind of a bit of a joke, by the way, but in all seriousness, it's nice to when you're a plant mum, if you know, you know. I also bought my mum some Mother's Day presents whilst I was there. I had spoken to her on the phone, and she'd said because I wanted to make her something, and I don't normally feel like that, but as I've talked about before, Christine McConnell, if you've heard me talk about her before, she is amazing and has a Patreon account. She does post to YouTube a little bit, but she makes everything, like everything. She's so like DIY, but it's vintage slash witchy, and I don't really know how you'd. I don't know. She did a video recently where she was restoring antique clocks, and it was really, really interesting. She did a live stream recently where she made napkins. I thought, my mum really needs napkins. Really needs napkins. I thought, well, I could just buy her a set of napkins. But these ones were wicked. Just amazing. I thought, I don't even have to do them like that. Especially, I could do them my own way. Because that was kind of, I want to say gothic, but vintage gothic. If that's a thing. I think it's a thing. So, but I could use the theory and the method and make my own for my mum. And I don't have a sewing machine. And to buy a sewing machine, even just a cheaper small one, and to buy the fabric and all that stuff, and I wanted to embroider on them a bit, and it was just working out to be silly expensive, and you know, I just don't have the last thing I want to do is create something that I don't know, I just was worried that it wouldn't come out right. Anyway, I then spoke to my mum and said, what would you like for Mother's Day? Is there anything in particular? And she said gardening stuff, some tools and some new gloves. So I went to this shop, and they have a range called Kent and Stowe, which I hadn't heard of before, but I really liked it. And these gloves here, I just thought they're so lovely with the little design on them. Got some bumblebees, butterflies, looks like moths maybe. Yeah, moths, butterflies, dragonflies. Yeah, dragonflies on that one. I just thought that was stunning, like really pretty. And then the insides of them, they're not, maybe they are suede. They certainly feel a bit suede. But they've got a bit of padding to them, and they've actually also got leather caps, or leather, I think they're leather, yeah, for the fingertips, so that you can use your phone. A new one on me, I thought that was very cool. But yeah, and then they've got a little adjustable cap. That's really loud. So you can adjust the size of the wrist as a cuff, just to stop any debris and stuff falling in. I did ask her before, I was like completely random question, not related to anything, but if you were to buy a pair of gloves, what size gloves would you buy? But I did also try them on, and I think if they fit me, they're going to fit her, because my hands are longer than hers. So, I should have bought a pair for myself. Make a good video out of that. I actually really should do that, because these are really cool. Could do a pruning video where you're my plant. Who knows? But they've also got padding on the back of the hands as well. Just a bit of extra protection. Anyway, so I really like those. I also got her a trowel and a fork, because that's what she'd asked for. But these are smaller than your average. I've got them tangled out, that's good, isn't it? There we go. Yeah, so these are smaller than your average trowels and forks, but not much smaller, but they are a bit smaller. I'd actually said to her, how about a smaller one, because she does, like, she grows her own chilies, tomatoes, peppers, but she grows them, like, she germinates them. I think I've just come out with a really technical term there and got it right. It'd be very embarrassing if I haven't. I think it's germinating. Like, she has them from seed and brings them up. Sometimes they come she buys them from somewhere where they've just started to come out of the soil, and then she's got all propagating systems and goodness knows, in a greenhouse, it's all, so even though that's not quite as small as I'd thought when I'd suggested her maybe a small one, even though that's not quite as small as I'd had in mind, it's probably a happy medium. Yeah, but what I really, really liked about these ones was that they're brass. Brass coat is a hand trowel in antique brass. I really, really, really wanted to get some for myself. I don't need them because I've got my own trowel and stuff. I say my own. Somebody's lived here before and left them behind. They're really good quality, so I don't need them. But I just thought, how amazing, because they're normally it's like stainless steel, just silver. Whereas, yeah, these are carbon steel in antique brass. 10-year guarantee. Perfectly weighted, perfectly balanced, perfectly proportioned. Up to 40% lighter tool inspired by today's gardener. Designed to give maximum comfort and enjoyment from a lighter and more compact tool. More manoeuvrable, easier to use in tighter spaces, ideal for smaller gardens. Generally preferred by ladies, younger gardeners, those suffering with mobility issues, or by those who simply prefer a lighter tool. High quality carbon steel head coated in beautiful antique brass colour. Handle made from beautiful ash wood, contoured for perfect comfortable grip. Efficient cultivation with minimal soil adhesion. Cranked shaft to protect knuckles during work. Ideal for use in borders and raised beds. Used for planting bulbs, seedlings and bedding plants. I mean, perfect. But yeah, so the other thing was, they'd got... Oh, that sounds lovely. They'd got bigger versions, which weren't that much more expensive, but they didn't have matching. Oh, and they didn't have a trowel, that was it. They had the fork, but they didn't have a trowel. I just fell in love with these little mini ones. I was just like, oh, can I have them? So, yeah. I just love the fact that they're brass. Hopefully she'll like it. It's me, in love with them. I mean, they always say you should buy a gift for someone that you would buy for yourself. But it depends what you're into. I think Mum would be probably, wouldn't have been bothered. But I also like the fact that they put the name, I can't remember what that's called now, embossed it. I don't know. But yeah, so it's like a triangle that you play when you're at school. Anyway, I'll just show you whilst we're here. I've got some primroses to put in my garden. I just fell in love with this one. Don't know what it was about the colours in particular. I just think they're so beautiful. There's just that denim blue with the yellow and the contrasting green leaves. I just thought it was stunning. Really just grabbed me. There's that one. And then some lovely yellow ones, which when I think of primroses I tend to think of yellow. I don't know why, if that's the same for everyone, but yellow really is a statement primrose colour. I need to get these in some water. I need to plant them at the end of the day. I've had them in my room overnight, so it's because the weather's been so horrendous. I can't really get outside and put them in the pot, but they've got one that's maybe a little bit worse for wear there. I need to take that off, but yeah, that's nice yellow. And then I've got a beautiful, I mean, what would you say that's? Indigo, I suppose. I mean, on the camera it looks purple, but here it's like a very, very, very dark blue, almost purple, so I'd say probably indigo. Which are also beautiful colours, with the yellow centres too. And then finally, this is another one that I would say is pretty statement primrose colours, is the red. I just think that's so striking. No, actually, it's got big roots coming at the bottom, so I need to get that in the pot really. But I want to get outside and plant stuff on a day when it's sunny. The last thing I want to do is go out in weather like this just to get them in the pot. So I think I'll stick them in. I've got a tray, so I'll put them in a tray with a little bit of water underneath, just so they can take what they need to, and then just get out there at some point and put them in the pot. Oh, they smell amazing. So sweet. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's going to be a bit of a mixture of lots of things. It's kind of been my trip to the garden centre, like a haul video, but at the same time also, I don't know, just a bit of fun. So I thoroughly enjoyed sharing my purchases with you and my plants. It's the first time you've met them. Maybe I could do a video where it's a bit more in depth, talking about how I care for my plants. Because I quite like watching videos. I love watching videos like that actually. Jenna Marbles did one a couple of years ago, and even though it's not an ASMR video, it's still a very relaxing, sort of calming video because it's slow paced and just informative as well, educational. So yeah, I think Miss Chloe's done one on plants too, which actually was really nice. But yeah, I'll try and do something else in the future. So it's lovely to see you, and I'll see you again soon.